Alright, it's time for another Xin Zhao game. Season 3 may have ended, but preseason is basically Season 3, which one, yay. So, I still have a lot of footage left over, which that I should upload before, Season 4 starts, where you'll all be demanding Season 4 videos. Anyways, attack damage red armor, yellow magic resistance blues, attack damage quints. My mastery is 921-0, and I start off with a Doran's Blade because I realized my opponents they all die to me. They can't actually duel me this early. Kennen gets first blood on Nasus, then gets killed by Jarvan. So here I am, just slugging it out with Jarvan. He is a lot weaker than me in duel. Xin Zhao just destroys Jarvan. Then Nasus comes in, they re-engage on me, and I'm like, wait, what the hell? Nasus is one of the weakest characters in the game, in the beginning. Jarvan can't do shit either. He's got burst damage, and that's about it. Xin Zhao's just got a ton shit more damage just straight out. And I have a Doran's Blade, so pretty much I could kill them 2v1, at least at that point, because if they were full health, I'd probably die. So I just turned around, killed Jarvan, and then just massacred Nessus. Now I'm going to do the whole, sit in the bush, wait till the lane pushes, and then pop out and kill this Nessus who for some reason didn't go home. So Nasus gets a little too close, we just charge him, and he dies. So top lane is essentially been massacred. I'll tell you this, Xin Zhao is one of the strongest duelists in the game. And the jungle and probably in lane 2. That's something you probably didn't know. He's really weak, though, against very tanky junglers, like Udyr, and I guess maybe you can qualify Skarner for that, and Trundle. However, if he catches anybody off guard, like he's able to stab them with this 3-talent strike without having to use his E, he can possibly just outright destroy them, combo them down, lock them in, just outright. Oh, Jarvan gets away slightly with just a lantern. Think of it in sort of that situation in a jungle duel. If you're able to get on top of them with just your Q and I guess your W, then you will do a lot of damage and they won't be able to escape. Here, I die because we kind of overstayed our welcome and they didn't properly do that gank. Still, though, we still have quite the advantage. Anyways, I'm building Brutalizer. Because of my early lead in kills, I decided, you know what, I can probably go at least one offensive item early and further snowball these ganks. That's one of the strengths of Xin Zhao. If you get quite fortunate early on, you could just start snowballing the living hell out of your opponents. By the way, here's the... I eat first because I wanted to steal the blue. I failed at it. I failed enough to do the burst and smite properly, so I didn't get to steal it. But still, it's no biggie. For some reason, Katarina turns around and jumps at me, and I just stab her with the third strike of 3-talent strike. Nasus takes the obvious path through the tri-bush and pretty much just gets jumped by me and Kennen and killed. So top lane is essentially a buried lane. And by buried, if you guys don't know what that term means, simply means that lane no longer is relevant. It needs to recover. In that case, by the way, Katarina was like it had no health. I just ate her and she died. Anyways, one of the reasons why you would want to pick Xin Zhao is he brings a lot of damage early. He brings crowd control, which very risky crowd control actually, melee too. But once again, it's very effective early. So he's a strong ganker in both terms of offering CC and damage. So if your teammates don't have much in the line of either, then he can bring it all himself. I would normally pick him in team lineups, like let's say if I had my own Nessus at top, who wasn't exactly that strong in ganking. I mean, well, he isn't really that strong in dealing damage when ganks. He has his Wither, but not damage. So Xin Zhao would come in and kill somebody. I would also probably pick Xin Zhao if I had like a Fiora, someone who has no crowd control and our damage is very difficult to dish out early. I mean, except that the enemy team, jumped on you or whatever. That's kind of what I mean. Or if you have like a mid laner who has no crowd control or damage early, like Heimerding. I mean, I know his grenade is technically crowd control, but it's not really the most reliable stun. But I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Xin Zhao brings both CC and damage. Therefore, if you need somebody, you need to apply pressure early and you can't rely on your teammates either because they made poor choices or you just don't trust anybody, period, then Xin Zhao is a really great pick. And if you manage to snowball the game, you can just build damage and slaughter everybody. So that's still good right there. You can carry. However, when team fights come, you will see your effectiveness just plummet. Xin Zhao, if you make mistakes like I just did right there, you just get your entire team slaughtered and shit will go bad. But as I was just saying, he cannot carry in certain team comps or against certain team comps. He's very vulnerable. His damage is difficult to deal because it's pure melee. Yeah, he has his E to close the gap, but once his E, if he gets CC'd when he uses his E, it's all gonna go to hell. He's a mechanically weird champion. His ultimate can sometimes be counterintuitive or could screw you over, even though you had you thought it would help you out. His cooldowns are deceptively low, so sometimes you can chain lock someone and kill them, but his damage goes from very high to moderate depending on his cooldowns. There's a lot of this kind of little stuff with him. But generally, he is kind of a face roll champion because you could just button mash and make and win. He's not really a complicated champion in terms of what his abilities do, just that they're kind of unreliable sometimes. But yeah, but like I said, you could button mash and win. Sometimes I miss my combos with him. Like I don't activate the W or the E before I hit with my talent strike, so I don't get the proper cooldown. But it still works out because that's just how Xin Zhao works. And another obvious plus of Xin Zhao is his item builds. You can see I took a Ghost Blade because obviously I got farmed early with blood and some monster kills. And then I built defensive items because obviously I want to survive in team fights in order to deal my damage and disruption. So Spirit of the Ancient Golem and the Spirit of Visage are excellent items on him. Cooldown reduction and health are amazing on him, especially because his ultimate already gives free magic resistance and armor based on how many people it hits. It also disrupts people, so he has some sort of pseudo initiation. Either way, I'm not really narrating much of this game because you can see what's going on. Right now, we are in a lead, but the enemy team can win team fights if we play it poorly. My team gets caught, but we're very strong at escaping, and they manage to flee. However, I find myself Corki right here just by his little itty bit of self, and his Valkyrie does not get him free from my talent strike, so he promptly dies. Of course, Nidalee comes in and takes the kill because, Nidalee. Nonetheless, my team obviously has a lot more damage than they do. So, except unless we let Katarina get her full ultimate off, that pending. But either way, my team has a lot of crowd control, has really strong pseudo initiations, and a lot of damage. So. Here we go. We catch ourselves a Nasus and a Jarvan out of position. Jarvan initiates on everybody. Teamfight ensues. Once Katarina goes in and activates her ultimate, I use my ultimate to knock her out of it. I keep going after the Nasus because I want him dead. Dead Nasus, no more Wither for you. And then I rejoin the rest of my team, and that's actually just a low replay glitch. I was stabbing an invisible Corki or something. I don't know what the hell I was stabbing. It was invisible. Either way, Corki dies. Everybody in their team basically dies. I use my flash thinking I'd have to catch the Jarvan, but the Nidalee Spear stabbed him in the spine, and I go get the blue because otherwise I won't be able to fight anybody. Nidalee manages to escape with just a sliver of health, and I show up to dish out a ton of damage on the Katarina. She's trying to run away, but she's taking the wrong direction. If she had run to her teammates, she probably would have had a chance of surviving, or at least had, killed me easier. The clutch health, the heal from the Nidalee and the Nami keep me alive long enough to just turn around and help to finish off Nasus. Of course, Nidalee was able to kill him. I rejoined the fight once Corki, comes back from the grave and comes to fight once again, and I slaughter him once more. My team, the teammate, me and Nidalee, just fucking dished out some World of Pain, some 2v4 status. Of course, thanks to the Nami, we managed to survive even longer, showed up at the right time. And after this, we just kind of go on to slaughter more people, take inhibitors, and take the turrets. So we just kind of sealed the deal with that game in that moment. The game is essentially won. We probably demoralized them insanely. They try to surrender too. They've been demoralized. My team is insanely fed. If even if they killed Italy or me, the Tristana will still wreck them. And even then, they're gonna have a tough time killing a single one of us unless we're caught off guard or completely jumped. And with that, it's an easy Baron for us. But as you can see by the timer of the video, the game's pretty much over. They surrender. We do not actually get to kill Baron before the whole surrender animation takes place. Or did we? I have no idea. Either way, hooray for Xin Zhao and hooray for the end of Season 3. Yay.